Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Olivia. Today, I want to share a personal story with you. Storytelling is one of the most powerful ways to improve your English speaking skills. When you tell a story in English, you don't just practice words and sentences. You practice emotions, flow, and confidence at the same time. So today, I'm going to tell you a story about my travel experience in Costa Rica, and I want you to listen carefully and feel the story as it moves forward. A few years ago, I decided to travel to Costa Rica because I wanted a break from my busy routine and a chance to connect with nature in a deeper way. Before the trip, I felt excited but also a little nervous because it was my first time visiting a country so rich in wildlife and natural beauty. When I finally arrived in Costa Rica, the first thing I noticed was the warm air and the relaxed atmosphere that made me feel welcome almost immediately. The people were friendly, the environment felt peaceful, and everything around me moved at a slower, more comfortable pace. On my first morning, I woke up early, opened the window, and listened to the sounds of birds and nature instead of traffic and noise. At that moment, I realized how different this place was from my everyday life, and I felt grateful that I had decided to come here. During the day, I explored small towns, walked through green landscapes, and tried local food that tasted fresh and full of flavor. Everything felt simple, natural, and deeply calming. One afternoon, I visited a rainforest, and as I walked slowly through the trees, I could feel how alive the environment was around me. I saw colorful birds, heard distant sounds of animals, and felt completely present in the moment. Instead of thinking about my phone or my responsibilities, I was fully focused on what I was seeing and feeling right then. That experience taught me an important lesson about slowing down and appreciating small moments in life. As the days passed, I became more relaxed, more open, and more connected to myself and the people around me. One of my favorite parts of the trip was visiting the beach, where the ocean felt endless and the sound of the waves was incredibly soothing. I remember sitting on the sand in the early evening, watching the skies slowly change colors, and feeling a deep sense of peace inside me. At that moment, I wasn't thinking about time, plans, or responsibilities, and I felt completely free and relaxed. During my stay, I also met travelers from different countries, and we shared stories, laughter, and simple meals together. Even though we came from different backgrounds, we connected easily because travel has a special way of bringing people closer. One evening, we talked for hours about life, dreams, and personal experiences, and it felt comforting to speak openly with people I had just met. Those conversations reminded me that human connection is just as important as beautiful places. Another day, I decided to try an adventure activity, even though I felt a little afraid at first. I stepped out of my comfort zone, trusted the guide, and reminded myself that growth often begins with fear. When the activity was over, I felt proud of myself and grateful that I didn't let fear stop me from experiencing something new. That experience taught me that travel is not only about seeing new places, but also about discovering new sides of yourself. As the trip continued, I learned to slow down, listen more, and appreciate each moment without rushing to the next one. Every day felt meaningful, not because it was perfect, but because I was fully present in it. As the days went by, I slowly realized that Costa Rica was teaching me how to live more simply and mindfully. I started waking up without rushing, enjoying my morning coffee, and allowing myself to feel the moment instead of checking the time again and again. This slower lifestyle felt unfamiliar at first, but very soon it became comforting and natural. One morning, I took a long walk through a quiet village where people greeted each other with smiles and kind words. Even though my English and their Spanish were different, kindness became our common language. I noticed how people valued simple things like family meals, shared laughter, and peaceful evenings after long days of work. That simplicity made me reflect on my own life and the things I often take for granted. There were moments when I felt emotional, not because I was sad, but because the experience felt meaningful and real. Sometimes travel opens your heart in ways you don't expect. As my trip slowly came closer to the end, I felt a mix of gratitude and quiet sadness, knowing that this beautiful chapter was almost over. I wanted to hold on to every sound, every view, and every feeling, even though I knew I had to return home. But deep inside, I understood that the memories and lessons would stay with me long after the journey ended. This trip wasn't just a vacation, it became a personal experience that changed the way I look at life and time. On the last day of my trip, I decided to visit a small waterfall hidden in the forest, a place I had heard about from locals. Walking through the dense greenery, listening to birds singing and water flowing somewhere ahead, I felt completely immersed in nature. When I finally reached the waterfall, I was amazed by its beauty. The water fell gracefully, creating a cool mist, and the sound was calming, almost magical. I spent some time just sitting there, feeling the water on my skin, taking photos, thinking about all the wonderful moments I had experienced during the trip. It made me realize that travel is not only about sightseeing, but also about feeling, learning, and connecting with nature, with people, and even with yourself. I remembered all the mornings when I woke up early, the afternoons spent exploring towns, the evenings talking with travelers, and the quiet nights when I reflected on everything I had seen. Each moment felt precious, and I wanted to carry these feelings and lessons back home with me. Travel taught me patience, openness, and appreciation for simple moments, and I hope this story inspires you to create your own experiences. If you ever have the chance to visit Costa Rica or any place that excites your heart, take it. Be present, embrace every moment, and don't be afraid to try new things. This trip reminded me that experiences, not just destinations, shape us. It showed me that stepping out of my comfort zone can lead to unforgettable memories. And now, when I think about Costa Rica, I smile because it wasn't just a trip, it was a journey of discovery, growth, and connection. Before leaving Costa Rica, I took a quiet walk along a small trail near the mountains. The sun was setting and the sky turned shades of orange and pink. I stopped for a moment and listened carefully. The wind in the trees, distant bird calls, and the soft sound of flowing water. It was a peaceful moment, one of those rare times when you feel completely present. I thought about the lessons I had learned during this trip, how slowing down can help you appreciate life, how connecting with nature can calm your mind, and how stepping out of your comfort zone can teach you courage. I also remembered all the little moments that seemed ordinary at first, sharing a simple meal with fellow travelers, laughing at small mistakes, and discovering hidden spots off the beaten path. Each of these moments taught me something valuable, not just about Costa Rica, but about myself and how I want to live my life. When you travel, it's not always about big adventures or famous places. It's about noticing small details, feeling gratitude, and allowing yourself to grow from the experience. As I packed my things to return home, I felt a mix of emotions: happiness, nostalgia, and a quiet excitement for the memories I would carry forever. Travel showed me that the world is full of beautiful experiences, and that every journey, no matter how short or long, can leave a lasting impact on your heart. And so, my Costa Rica story ended, but the lessons, the peace, and the inspiration stayed with me long after I returned home. And now, as I finish sharing my Costa Rica experience with you, I want you to remember one important thing. Travel is not just about visiting new places, it's about discovering yourself and creating memories that stay with you forever. Every moment, whether it's a quiet morning walk, an exciting adventure, or a simple conversation with someone you meet along the way, can teach you something valuable. When you speak about your experiences in English, don't worry about making mistakes. Focus on connecting your thoughts naturally, expressing your feelings, and telling your story with confidence. By sharing stories about your travels, your day, or anything you care about, you practice real English, improve your fluency, and make your conversations more interesting and authentic. I hope my Costa Rica story inspires you to explore, feel, and share your own experiences. Remember, every trip, every moment, and every story you tell is an opportunity to grow. Thank you for joining me on this journey with Talk Olivia. Keep speaking, keep sharing your experiences, and keep practicing English every day. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.